This video is on how to calculate moisture loss. Why do we need to calculate moisture loss? Well, moisture loss is an important tool that many hatchery managers use to make sure that their incubation conditions are correct. Whether you're running single stage or multi-stage incubation equipment, moisture loss is an important factor to make sure that your incubation parameters are being met properly. So, for example, in multi-stage equipment, Jamesway recommends the moisture loss to be between 11 and 13% moisture loss for, again, the Jamesway multi-stage equipment. If you had the Jamesway single-stage equipment, those same eggs would have a 9 to 11% moisture loss. So let's get into how we do these calculations, or how we go through the process, and then we'll go through the calculation afterward. Let's get into how we're going to do this process. First thing we need to do is we're going to do two weighings. The first weighing will be in the egg room, and we're going to get the weights from the eggs that are going to be set. We want to take 4 incubator flats or egg flats from one tray or one incubator rack tray. And what we want to do is make sure that we get a representative sample from that machine. So we certainly want, some on top trays, middle trays, and bottom trays, so that we have a good representation of eggs throughout the eggs that are being set, or samples from the eggs being set. The second weighing we're going to do will be at transfer, and we're going to identify these eggs so that we weigh the same exact eggs again at transfer. And then after we're done at transfer, those incubator trays, the empty trays, we need to weigh so that we can tear out and get those calculations. So to begin with, we've got eggs, fresh eggs that are going to be set. We are going to weigh those and record the weights. Again, it's important that we don't take all these eggs from the same spot within the rack or within the incubator. We need to be top, middle, and bottom, whether you're running multi-stage or single stage. As I mentioned, this is our first initial weighing. Our second weighing will be done at transfer. Now, it's important that we do this before you do it. You remove the eggs or any of the clear eggs. We want all the eggs left on the tray. There are some folks out there that believe you need to take the clear eggs out. I'm not one of them. It's important that we keep all the eggs on the flat for the weighing at transfer. We're going to repeat the process, record those weights. We're then going to record the empty flats that we weighed the eggs on. It's important that we use the same empty flats. Not all 2 flats weigh the same, so it's important that we utilize the same exact flats. And then at this point, once we have all 3 data points, we're going to go and make some calculations. So at this point, let's go and look at the data and make some determinations whether or not we've got the correct moisture loss or not, and if not, what can we do to make some improvements.
Well, now that we've gone through the mechanics of how to do moisture loss, let's step in the office here and go through some calculations so that everybody understands how to calculate proper moisture. So the formula I've got here on the screen is percent moisture loss equals, it's the full egg tray weight at set, which we talked about earlier, minus the full egg tray weight at transfer. We're going to divide that by the transfer weight, the full tray weight at set minus the empty tray weight. And I mentioned we need to make sure that we get that empty tray weight. And then we multiply that by 100. So let's run through an example. Here's some data, and what we'll do is we'll take this top data. So the set weight was 12.15. The transfer weight was 11.05. So again, we've got our moisture loss equals the egg tray weight at set, which is the 12.5 that we saw on the previous slide, minus the egg tray weight at transfer, which we saw on the previous slide was 11.05. Then we take the egg tray weight at set, which is at 12.15, minus the empty tray weight. The empty tray weight was 0.095. We multiply that by 100 and we end up getting 9.82, which is what we had on the previous page. So that's how you calculate it, not very difficult. And just a reminder, our moisture loss goal with the Jamesway multi-stage machine is 11 to 13%. And if you have our Jamesway single stage machines, we're looking for somewhere around 9 to 11% moisture loss. And that should conclude this training video on calculating and performing moisture loss. So thank you.